I don't think he should be here, that's for sure, but there's a process in place that has to apply equally to all members from both parties in both chambers. And that's the House Ethics Committee, as your panel just pointed out. To the extent that there's concerns about how long that would take, we should just have an expedited review.
Yes, an expedited review. That sounds just about right. And that was Republican Rep. Brian Fitzpatrick. But he's not alone on this opposition to Representative Santos. Check out this headline. New York County GOP leaders call for Rep. Santos' resignation over fabrications. Why are they calling this fabrications? The man is a liar. So let's just use the strong word lie and forget the little kitty fabrications, please. Now, Santos quickly responded, watch this.
I will not. Guys, we're gonna need a little space here.
The New York Republicans are calling you a disgrace. You will not resign?
Pardon me?
What is your response to New York
Congress
Republicans?
are trying to get in the elevator.
He is a disgrace, and he just said that he will not resign. They're gonna have to keep putting the pressure on him. Let us remind you all the lies that Santos has told. Let's put those up. Said he worked at two prominent Wall Street banks, that's Citigroup and Goldman Sachs, had obtained degrees in finance and economics from two New York colleges. He also said that he was Jewish, that 4 employees of his company were killed in the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida in June of 2016. His latest lie is related to campaign finances. A complaint was filed with the FEC on Monday. The CLC alleged that Representative George Santos and his 2022 campaign committee, the Voter Santos for Congress, violated federal campaign finance laws by engaging in a straw donor scheme to knowingly and willfully conceal the true sources of $705,000 that Santos purported to loan his campaign. This reporting is coming from The Guardian. The group also said Santos deliberately reported false disbursement figures on FEC disclosure reports, among many other reporting violations, and illegally used campaign funds to pay for personal expenses, including rent on a house that Santos lived in during the campaign. And finally, the complaint notes multiple campaign expenditures, widely reported, of almost $200,000. $199.99, 1 cent below $200 FEC threshold for provisions of receipts. Oh my God. Jackson, I mean, we can't even make this stuff up. Even though in talking about Santos, I guess we could make it all up and it would be very fitting for this.
Right, exactly. It would be fitting. And I mean, the Republican Party might as well do everything they can to get him out. And I mean, just because the truth is that George Santos is beyond useless to everybody. Because the only thing that you know about George Santos for certain is that you can't believe and trust anything that he says, which makes him useless to anything that's even cynical or evil. What you gonna do with somebody you can't trust whatsoever? So again, his spot in government really is useless. And the funny thing is that if he doesn't resign or if he isn't kicked off, naturally he's gonna get frustrated. I mean, he just will. And he's gonna start to show that frustration, which obviously won't help his case. But I mean, he really, and the stories that come out that show that he's been doing this his whole life, but it's just caught up to him and in such an epic and front-facing way, because he really can't do anything else from here. He really can't.
No, not at all. And even, I mean, Jackson, the sad part about it, if he stays and they don't put him on committees, which they have been talking about ahead of this new campaign finance complaint, he will just get paid and just sit there on the taxpayer's dime until his term is up if they're not able to get him to compel him to leave. So we're gonna stay on top of this. And another thing about this man, he's a racist. Here he is, making a white power sign. This is him right there in the chambers. So Yeah.
Oh, well, he got a signal to somebody. Maybe he's strolling. He a Kappa. Maybe that's what it is. He lied about it. He part of Kappa Alpha Psi. He on a stroll in the Congress. That's what it is. But no, I mean, and I was just talking about earlier. He lied and said he was one of the first people that caught COVID, which is like, I mean, unless it's like one of the first recorded cases. It's really astounding. And like I said to my podcast audience, I was like, you somewhat have to admire his dedication to something. You know what I'm saying? And you know, his dedication to being a fraud is quite astounding.
It is quite Jackson. Say that out. It is quite astounding. Well, we're gonna keep up with this story and keep you updated on what happens to now Representative Santos.